Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, I just had an interesting Friday afternoon. I was at the ice cream social and I ran into the ex-board member that we had a lot of exchange with on social media. There's a couple of things I need to clear up. There's the notion that I think that there's just like this notion that him and I were not cool at all, or like we're neighborly or friendly terms, which is not true. For a good year and a half to 2 years, we were actually on very fairly friendly terms. I went to his house 4 times, so he stated. 4 times. I knocked on his 4 times, and they were not invited. But I did knock, and he did answer the door. Most of the time when I went there, it was to really just for inquiries. That's number 1. 2, there were lack of, I guess, gratitude, at least from me. And he mentioned to me, other neighbors would give him treats and things like that. So I felt to reciprocate. I did give him cookies, Girl Scout cookies to be specific. And even one time, we actually went out to lunch, went to In-N-Out just for a brief lunch. I went out late afternoon. And those were, somewhat the good times when, I think that a lot of things I saw eye to eye with him and I had no challenges. Now, this encounter, he kind of brought that back up, resurfaced it, trying to twist the narrative that I went to his house uninvited. He probably had footages, and so do I. But you know what? I'm not going to broadcast the footages because I know the California laws in the ways where if I'm like having an interaction with someone, I really cannot broadcast that on a public forum unless it's agreed upon, especially conversation-wise. So, I'm going to leave that footage out, but I would describe it where, overall, initially it was a friendly tone. And I'm a loudspeaker, so I do speak with conviction, and my voice is very strong. I'm a loudspeaker in that way. So while it wasn't a shouting match, it was a strong discussion, let's just say. But a couple of those points came up where I went to his house uninvited. I knocked on the door. It wasn't like I rampaged it, and I wasn't complaining because we were actually on good terms during that time. And he might not saw it that way, but at least then. But and you know what? I think one of the times I actually went to apologize and shake his hands, because every year, even during our somewhat friendly type of, neighborly relationship, we always have some type of disagreement, especially in the beginning of the year for whatever reason. But for this beginning of the year, we just couldn't overcome that, disagreement or different perspective of views. And so here we are. But with all that being said, I was somewhat caught off guard because it was just a conversation a strong conversation that, I did want to have with him, but just not at that juncture of time. But unfortunately, we did. He pointed out some things where I posted on Nick's store saying that, he's intimidating. What else? Listen. That's how I felt at that time. And even today, I felt intimidated because I was all by myself. My description, he said that pretty much, he didn't say I was over-exaggerated, but he said, I'm not 6'4", Larry. Okay, fair enough, but you're definitely bigger than me. And if he ever shows his footage, if I need to show mine, he is a bigger guy than me at the end of the day, taller than me and whatever else. Then, where he went along stating that couple other things where my writing skills and whatever else, I use ChatGPT and whatever. Yeah, who doesn't use ChatGPT these days? So, okay, guilty. And what else? Then it goes on and really just continue. Today's Friday, and the weird thing is, it's just how weird timing of everything is, because this morning we got an anonymous email from somebody that posted his lawsuit, or the HOA lawsuit. It's public information. It's a court document. He keeps saying, did I read it? Listen, I read it as in I read as much as was available to me. I have not gone down to the courthouse to read the whole thing. All I know is something about renters and whatever else. That's it. But there was this snippet where these are accusations, right? Because this he hasn't been convicted or found guilty or whatever legal things that they claim it to be. These are a plaintiff and a defendant type of deal. The appropriate terms. These are accusations against him. Even if half of those accusations are accurate, because there are 50 of them, something's not right. But needless to say, he's no longer on the board, so he did step down. But now he's a vendor. He claims that they haven't gotten a dime. I think the company's called Citadel too. Hasn't gotten a dime. But I don't know. Because you know what? Again, we have not received the financials for this community with invoices for more than 2 years. And whatever, and I don't even think that it's been fully audited or signed off. So I just don't know. I mean, I really just don't know. A Friday late afternoon ice cream social turned into a strong discussion, unfortunately. I don't know, I have people have known this guy to repost videos or audios for say, to support his narrative. We all do. But on the same token, I also know, again, that, you have to make sure, he did record me and I did record him. So it's a two-way street. But I'm not going to, as of right now, I don't feel like the need to really just post out. The biggest thing I think that really agitated him, so he claimed that I'm trying to be Casey Neistat. I'm not. I wish I was Casey Neistat. Casey Neistat is a very popular vlogger. He's kind of known to be like the father of vlogs, and yeah, I'm not trying to be him. I'm just trying to be Larry Lee. That's me. The conversation did rattle me a little bit because it disturbs me because between the lawsuit that was published out earlier this morning, and then there was a tangible piece of mail that came out, I think either last week or the week before, just about the community as a whole. There's a lot of just disconnected, concerning things. I'll be the first one to admit, at times, anyone that gets in a heated discussion, or say somewhat warm discussion, the voice gets stronger and I do get loud. Because you know what? There are cameras around. And if there's cameras around, I need to make sure that, it can pick me up. Additionally, one of the things I really didn't appreciate was the fact that he tried to get me to hit him, which I didn't even touch the guy. I didn't touch him. At least if I bumped into him, maybe rubbed him, right? Because, but I didn't hit the guy. That's for sure. Wasn't going to go there. I'm older than that. I'm a father, and I learned my lesson. Physical confrontation is absolutely never the answer to any type of problems, per se. I just don't know. This is a vetting video because I just want to share with my viewers the things I'm experiencing here, just like the other one. This one's a vetting. As for facts, he claims that my narrative at times is not factual. Let me be factual about this. There is a lawsuit against him and the HOA, which they refused to answer when I asked about that. So that's a fact. But it's out there now. I mean, I still didn't say the name because, I don't feel like my audience need to know that name. And if they need to know that name, they would know that name because they live here. But that guy's no longer on the board, but still a lot of influences. In fact, there is a forum that's formed by him. And it's not the HOA. It's a private, independent forum. That's his. And, whoever basically he gets them to buy off on his thoughts or, quote unquote, like kind of drink his Kool-Aid, it's kind of, it is what it is. They're going to listen to that narrative. No different in some ways for some of the people here on YouTube would listen to me, except I'm doing it on a closed private forum, and I'm open for criticisms. It's fine. It is what it is. I lived in this neighborhood for, my family and I almost lived in this neighborhood for almost 20 years, and it's just, these past couple of years, it's been so tough. Again, if you look around me, there's no parking issues, and still there are fines or penalties for having that extra car. But whatever, it is what it is for right now. My son's gonna be going away to college, and so is my daughter soon enough. And that should lift, that burden will go away. But we just want to live in peace. That's all we want to do. But the gates, the barriers, the cameras, I mean, yes, there's the notion of it's for your own safety, but there's a point that invasion of privacy is huge, and it's just never been that way. I'm not saying this is him, but there's are claims that there are high crimes here and whatever else. Look at it statistically. I researched it on the Irvine website. It's PD website. It's not. And ultimately, like the flyer has stated, this community's value is lower than other neighborhoods around us, between 10 to 15%, and it does matter. I don't have the answer. I really don't. But I would say that this video, this vlog, is more for me than anyone else. And I did feel bad that I had to really express at that moment. I mean, I don't know. It bothers me, because this is not the way I want to start my quote unquote 4th of July weekend, right? And it's tough, because you know what? I have acknowledged that this board member has tried to do good things, and again, it's about that delivery, the way that the execution, it's just very not much our style. And then now, the more we discover who's getting the money, what is it? I mean, where is it? And then the lawsuits. I mean, the biggest concern for all of us that lives there is we have lawsuits against us. And why? Why did it even get to lawsuits? I don't understand that. And so, I don't know. I'm not as composed as my other vlogs, by all means, but my vlogs are never rehearsed. I am who I am. But keep following. And this is a vlog that I didn't want to do. I didn't, but I think I need it. It's kind of therapeutic. But I'm sure there's going to be videos of me, or at least voice clips. I don't know. I don't know what the guy would do. But it's he has every right to do what he needs to do, and I'll post what I need to post. But be assured, if I was Casey Neistat, I have millions of followers, not just thousands. So anyways, till that time comes, I really appreciate you supporting me. Criticize. Subjective criticisms are fine with me. Truth, stories always have, truth always there's only one truth, but there's always two sides to every story. So just keep that in mind. And this is my side of my interaction, but there's only one truth. So anyways, till then, stay tuned, please, and keep subscribing. Take care.